will chop off their heads. Joining me now to talk about this, the rise of anti-Semitism, the persecution of Christians around the world, Robert Jeffress. He's a member of the White House Faith Initiative, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Dallas, Fox Business contributor. Pastor, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Your reaction to that deeply troubling video.
Well, let's again make it very clear the majority of Muslims in the world are peaceful. But, Lou, if even just 5% of the 1.5 billion Muslims in the world embrace radical Islam, that is 75 million radical Muslims who want to exterminate every Jew. They want to exterminate every Christian in the world today. And we've got to be aware of that. And as that little girl said, the whole issue is over this land, and to whom does it belong? The Democrats are dead wrong about this and siding with the Palestinians. God says that land belongs to his people, the Jewish people. And to oppose, to be on the wrong side of the Jewish people, is to be on the wrong side of God himself.
That's straightforward. And a new study talking about religious persecution. This new report adding that Christians are the most persecuted religious group around the world. In fact, the persecution of Christians in parts of the world is at near genocide levels. Your thoughts?
Well, it's real and it is horrific. And yes, we know other faith groups are also being persecuted, but Christians have a giant X on their back. And, you know, up until the time of President Donald Trump, it was politically incorrect to talk about that. You could talk about every other faith group being persecuted except Christians. And when it came to Christians, remember Obama told us we need to get off our high horse and not worry about those Coptic Christians who were being beheaded. I mean, it was ludicrous. And thank God, and I mean that literally, Lou, thank God we have a president who recognizes the persecution that is going on among Christians in all groups, and he and Secretary Pompeo and Vice President Pence are intent on doing something about it.
And you were with them at National Prayer Day. Rabbi Goldstein, I think, captured everyone's hearts with his remarks. Your thoughts on the rabbi and his courage that day, and the courage of the woman who died, who was shot. She took a bullet to keep the rabbi from doing so.
Well, that's right. The president called Rabbi Goldstein to the stage, and the rabbi talked about staring evil in the face when he saw that gunman, having part of his hand blown off. And he said, Lou, when he got home, he was weeping in his house uncontrollably when the telephone rang, and he picked up the phone, and it was President Trump. And he said what was to be a minute talk turned into a 25-minute talk, and he thanked the president for his compassion. And he said the president was the first person who led him on the road to healing. And Lou, I've got to say this. I'm 63 years old. I've never heard a more faith-affirming speech than I heard yesterday from President Trump. He talked about the power of prayer, the power of Christ to change lives, the need for religious freedom, the sanctity of life. And I think one of the great ironies of history is going to be when people look back, they're going to say, after 8 years of spiritual wandering under Barack Obama and his godless policies, it took a secular New York State real estate tycoon named Donald J. Trump to turn this nation back toward God and implement policies that honor God instead of blaspheme God like those of Barack Obama's.
Pastor, you can bring it, and we appreciate you bringing it, as you always do, with us here. Thanks, Pastor Robert Jeffress. We certainly appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.